Red Bull's 2024 season is hitting a major roadblock. After a stellar 2023, where they owned the track, the highly anticipated RB20 just flunked its crash test. Yes, this isn't your usual hiccup. It's a go big or go home situation. Now, what exactly is happening out there? As we were saying, the much-hyped RB20 just flunked its first crash test. And we're not talking about a minor fender bender here. It failed big time. So imagine this. Cranfield, UK, first dynamic frontal homologation test, and kaboom. The front nose of the RB20 crumpled like a cookie, failing to absorb the energy properly. Now you might be scratching your head, wondering why this crash test is such a big deal. Let's break it down. Only two places worldwide, Milan and Cranfield, have the setups to conduct these tests. And in Formula One, it's not a regular road safety check. It's like throwing your car into a wall at high speed and seeing if it comes out in one piece. The pressure on those front wing sets is intense, setting a standard that's got to be met to hit the tracks. So Red Bull, riding high on the glory of the RB19, decided to be early birds and test the RB20 pronto. But here's the thing. The nose of the RB20 didn't get the memo on how to handle the crash energy. Result? It turned into a bit of a car body demolition derby. Now, why does this matter? Well, you see, passing this crash test is the golden ticket to F1 freedom. Fail it, and your car is stuck in the garage. Alright, let's zoom in a bit. The crash test is no joyride. It's a make or break deal. Milan and Cranfield are the only places with the setups for a reason. F1 testing is tough. It's not just about making sure your car can handle a little bump. It's about surviving a full-on collision. The pressure on those front wing sets a standard that's got to be met. The chassis is mounted on a sled and bam, it's rammed straight into a wall. It's like taking your car through a car-wrecking hurricane and expecting it to come out unscathed. Now, why is the nose absorbing energy crucial? Well, think of it as a shock absorber for your car. In a crash, it's the first line of defense designed to take the hit and minimize damage to the rest of the car. But when your shock absorber fails, as it did for Red Bull, it's like going into battle without your armor. The rest of the car takes a beating, and you're left with a mess. Now, let's talk about timing. Red Bull, thinking they had time on their side, rushed into testing the RB20 early. It's a gamble that didn't pay off. With the front nose failing the crash test, they've got a major setback. While other teams are fine-tuning their cars, Red Bull is dealing with a car that's not roadworthy. It's like starting a race with a flat tire. It's not a good look. The big question now is, can Red Bull bounce back? Failing the crash test doesn't mean it's game over, but it's definitely a red flag. Now the crash test at Cranfield tests everything from the front wing to the rear section. They even do a bulkhead test to make sure the fuel cell stays intact during a simulated crash. Imagine this. The conditions mimic a real track crash, hurtling at a speed of around 17 milliseconds. Now the inspectors play hardball. They'll call it a fail if the car stops abruptly, or if it deforms and intrudes on other parts. It's all about ensuring the car can take a hit without falling apart. So, why did the RB20 flunk this crucial crash test? Well, here's the lowdown. The crash test is meticulous, especially when you're dealing with carbon fiber, the primary material in these racing beasts. Inspectors need a truckload of light to spot every little and massive deformation post-crash. Now, the front wing is a key player. It has to absorb enough energy to pass the test. Guess what happened to the RB20? Yep, the front wing didn't quite get the memo and didn't absorb enough energy. Result? Test failed. Now, rewind a bit. Why is the RB20 even on the test bed? Well, Red Bull's been on a high after their RB19 success in 2023. Their aggressive approach might have backfired. See, the development of the RB19 was halted in 2023 because they were practically unbeatable. No point investing more, right? So, they shifted gears to the RB20, fearing the competition would catch up in 2024. Helmut Marko, the man with the plan, kept warning that the 2023 season was a one-off and 2024 would be a lot tougher. Now, let's talk about weight, the Achilles heel of the RB19 and surprise the RB20. Red Bull's been shedding weight like it's going out of style, trying to make their cars as light as possible. The RB19 was a bit hefty, coming in above the 798 kilogram minimum weight limit. Adrian Newey spilled the beans in an interview, saying shedding weight is a top priority for 2024. The RB20 is meant to be an evolution, not a revolution, building on the success of 2023. But guess what? The crash test failure suggests they might have gone a bit too gung-ho on the weight loss. Now, don't go thinking Red Bull's throwing in the towel. Failing the crash test isn't a death sentence. It's more like a wake-up call. They've got the luxury of fixing their issues in time for the season. Here the big boss had hinted about reaching the limits of wind tunnel results for the RB20. If these failures keep piling up, Adrian Newey might find himself back at the drawing board. Some parts of the RB20's philosophy and design might be off, and that's a gift-wrapped starting point for Red Bull's rivals in 2024. So, what's Red Bull's game plan now? Simply continue the domination with what they've got. But here's the thing. Other teams are closing in, and the FIA has put a halt on developing 2026 cars before 2025. These hiccups have the potential to shake up the 2024 season in unexpected ways. Moving on to the aftermath, it's clear that Red Bull must closely examine the design of the RB20's front nose. However, it's unlikely that this setback will be a colossal regression for the team, given their consistent progress in the current technical era. Chief Engineer Paul Monahan emphasizes that the new car will be an evolution, not a complete departure from the successful RB19. The goal is to maintain the winning concept, while making necessary advancements to stay competitive, especially with other teams closing in. Now Red Bull is not merely dwelling on the crash test failure. They're actively working on upgrading the Venturi channel panels. These panels play a pivotal role in maintaining the car's balance close to the ground without triggering adverse aerodynamic effects. While Red Bull has set standards with their double-floor sideboard design, the crash test failure serves as a reminder that perfection is an ongoing pursuit. Addressing performance concerns, Max Verstappen points out specific areas where Red Bull needs improvement: street circuits and low-speed corners. Despite their dominance in the 2023 season, Verstappen recognizes weaknesses and emphasizes the need for enhancements in these aspects. Pierre, a key figure in the team, echoes these sentiments, acknowledging the identified weaknesses in low-speed areas and curbing them. The candid acknowledgement suggests a proactive approach to addressing weaknesses for the upcoming season. In the complex world of Formula One, even a team like Red Bull, seemingly at the pinnacle of their game, faces challenges in areas for improvement. The crash test failure and Verstappen's observations provide rivals like Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren a glimpse of vulnerability. The rivals are sure to leverage any perceived weaknesses as they gear up for the 2024 season. In the end, the 2024 season for Red Bull has encountered an unexpected hurdle with the crash test failure of the RB20. While it necessitates a careful examination of the car's design, Red Bull remains committed to evolving and staying competitive. The upcoming season promises increased competition as rivals seize upon any opportunities presented by Red Bull's setbacks. The dynamics of the 2024 Formula One season have undoubtedly taken an intriguing turn, and fans will be closely watching how Red Bull navigates these challenges. Anyway, these guys will have to go back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong with the nose, and make some serious adjustments. The clock's ticking, and the competition isn't waiting around. In the world of Formula One, where milliseconds matter, every hiccup counts. Red Bull's rivals, eyeing this unexpected twist, are hoping to capitalize on the situation. Now, what do you guys think? Do drop your views in the comments section below, and we'll meet again in the next episode. Until then, see ya!